Barak Cohen is a former U.S. federal prosecutor. He joins me from Washington. Good morning, sir.
Hi, Heather. How's it going?
Very well, thank you. I want to begin with Michael Cohen. In pleading yesterday, he said he committed his crimes in coordination with and at the direction of Donald Trump, with the express purpose of influencing the 2016 election. How much legal jeopardy does Donald Trump face today?
That creates a significant amount of jeopardy for him. Not necessarily today, as you've correctly pointed out. DOJ is unlikely to seek the indictment of a sitting president, but in the future it could present enormous difficulties for him, and certainly politically it does. In essence, what it does is it makes him an unindicted co-conspirator in Michael Cohen's illegal activity.
I heard that term from legal experts yesterday, unindicted co-conspirator. So what you're saying is, had he not been a sitting president, he likely would have been a co-defendant yesterday?
A strong possibility. If DOJ were still in the process of gathering evidence or trying to flip a target, it's possible they may not name that target in an indictment. But here it's very likely because he's a sitting president.
So explain that a little bit more. It is a Department of Justice policy, although it's never been clearly and definitively answered in the Constitution. But even from Michael Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, we got this tweet, which I'll pull up. If those payments were a crime for Michael Cohen, then why wouldn't they be a crime for Donald Trump?
Well, that's exactly right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, why not an indictment? It's just a policy.
It is a policy. The current analysis by the Office of Legal Counsel, which provides that sort of analysis for the White House on behalf of DOJ, is that a sitting president cannot be indicted. So in theory, DOJ could change or it could decide differently based on new analysis. But the most current analysis I'm aware of stands for the proposition that a sitting president cannot be indicted. That's not to say he couldn't be indicted once he leaves office, however.
And that was the suggestion from even people like Senator Richard Blumenthal and others yesterday, referencing Watergate moment, the possibility of a deferred indictment. How likely do you see that?
I think it's a strong likelihood. They could toll the indictment or they could toll the statute of limitations for the crime, although they wouldn't need to. There's a 5-year statute of limitations in any event. But they could toll the period of the activity depending on how long Donald Trump is in office, and then once he leaves office, they could seek his indictment before a grand jury.
What about the question of impeachment, Mr. Cohen? What role would prosecutors play in that political process?
Well, that's a political process. Prosecutors have no role, except to the extent that the special counsel, Mueller, has the ability to write a report and then provide that report to Congress with respect to the president's activities.
But could, as I understand it, could prosecutors not present evidence to the House committee to lead them perhaps to set off that political process?
If requested, yes, they could provide evidence.
So what do you see as the most likely options here?
It's hard to say. I think the likeliest option is, first of all, President Trump will not be indicted. I think beyond that, this is likely to play into the political process. So if Democrats in Congress are going to seek impeachment, this would be among the grounds for impeachment.
And what about the question of being given immunity and, as a result, forcing testimony? Do you see that happening in either of these cases?
Well, really, that's up to the lawyers of the people involved. Mm-hmm. To date, neither Manafort nor Cohen have, at least as far as I know, sought immunity. I don't know if that'll change. Certainly, Manafort, now that he's been convicted, certainly has more compelling reason to seek immunity, but Cohen apparently is, as far as I know, is not cooperating right now, and has not sought immunity beyond what's mentioned in his criminal information.
No, and as we've heard from his lawyer this morning in an interview with NPR, he's dedicated to the truth, he says, and will not accept a pardon. So that avenue seems to be closed in that front too. Thank you so much for your time and expertise this morning. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Heather.